to English 202, Introduction to Technical Communication Online. My name is Dr. Jen Millette, and I'm your instructor for the semester. The purpose of this video is to provide an introduction to English 202, to give you a brief tour of the Blackboard site that we'll use this whole semester, and finally to discuss the structure of the course so that you know what to expect from the semester. First, a little bit about me. I'm an instructor here in the Technical Communication program, which is housed within the English department. I have been a teacher here at Boise State for 2 years, and I also conduct research in technical communication. My research focuses on scientific and engineering communication, so you'll see some references to that throughout the course, and it's often the examples that I point to. I research how we can teach engineers and scientists to write better while they're in a university setting, and I also examine how scientific and engineering communication work in professional settings. If you're not a scientist or engineer, however, you'll find that this course is still pretty useful for you because I offer lots of opportunities for you to explore what writing means within your specific disciplinary context. This means that you'll have a chance to look at how to write as a business person or as a biologist or as an engineer. So regardless of your major, you'll have an opportunity to explore technical communication within the frame of what you're interested in, both as a student and as a future professional. Technical communication is a concept that a lot of students don't quite understand when they first take this class. And one way to start thinking about it is that we'll start exploring how technical communication actually differs from other types of writing that you may have encountered. So if you took English 101 and 102 here at Boise State or elsewhere, you'll immediately see there are some key differences between what we do in this class and what you did in those other two courses. While there's a lot that's also similar, you'll find that we don't write essays here in technical communication, we write reports. And reports look different, they're structured differently, and they don't use the same rules that the essays that you wrote in English 101 and 102 use. That doesn't mean that technical communication is the right way to write and how you learn how to write in English 101 and 102 is wrong. It just means that it's different, and it's different because of the setting that we're within. So we focus specifically on technical and professional contexts, specifically workplace contexts or scientific or engineering contexts. And those contexts require different types of writing than an academic context or other places. So first, a little bit about the course itself, or the course site itself. As you look over here, you'll see that the information is broken up into some distinct sections. So here is the course content, and this is the nitty-gritty for for each week and for the whole semester. So I've broken up the modules into discrete weekly units, and then you'll have major assignments, which is all of the big assignments that you'll accomplish through the whole semester. Your discussion board is over here, as well as a link to a page where you can find your writing group and a list of all the videos that I've created for this class. The second section is also important information, and it's the stuff you'll need to know to be successful in the class. So you have your syllabus and schedule, you have a little bit about me, your instructor, and then you have a list of how to send a professional email. This announcements page is actually where you land on when you first enter the course, the Blackboard course, and the announcements is where you can find all of the information that I sent you via email. So I post it here as well as sending it to you in an email. So if you can't find it in your email, you can actually locate it on this page as well. If we go over here to the syllabus and schedule site, you'll see here's the resources for the class. So your textbooks, we'll be using the Essentials of Technical Communication, the 3rd edition, as well as Joanna Wolf's Team Writing. Those are the 2 textbooks for the class. You'll also find your course schedule, and there'll be a document that you can click on and download. And this document contains the entire overview for the whole semester. It's very detailed. It has all of the readings for each week, all of the major assignments when they are due, as well as when all the little assignments for each week will be due. You'll want to download this and keep it on hand so that you can consult it for each week. The information is replicated in the weekly module itself, but this provides the long view of the course, which many of you might find really useful. Finally, I've also included 2 different syllabi for the class. You have your more traditional text syllabus, which has an exhaustive overview of the class, It's much more detailed and specific. However, I've also included this visual syllabus because in technical communication, we talk a lot about how we can use various forms of writing to clearly communicate information to users. And one of those ways is using visuals instead of relying just on text. In addition, we use good formatting and style to be able to communicate information clearly. I include the syllabus because I also know that some students might find the text syllabus to be a little overwhelming. So this visual syllabus forces me to take all that information and present it in a much more visual way for you. Accessibility and usability are key concepts within technical communication. So this is a representation of one of the ways we can use technical communication to communicate to users and help them understand complex information in a more usable way. And speaking of accessibility, if you are someone who needs some extra assistance in the course and to help you be more successful because of accessibility reasons, please send me an email so that we can discuss what we'll need to do for that. So both of these syllabi, our syllabuses, are pretty important, and I would look over both of them to decide which one you want to use. The text syllabus might be the one that you prefer, or you might prefer the visual one. Whichever it is, this is where you go when you have a question about the course itself that you want to make sure that you understand. If the information is not contained in the syllabus, then of course you should contact me. The second bit here is the professional email guidelines. Here I outline how to send a professional email. When we talk to employers, they often comment that students don't know how to email them professionally. So one of the first things we'll discuss this semester is how to send a professional email and what you want to include in order to make sure that your message is actually heard. Employers say, if they get an email they don't find to be professional or is overly informal or isn't unclear, they'll delete it, they'll ignore it. And you don't want your emails to be ignored, especially when you're trying to communicate or get information or learn something from an employer. So in order to not have your emails be ignored, we'll cover the guidelines for how to write a professional email. In addition, these email guidelines are what you want to use all semester when you email me and when you email your peers. They're also useful for when you email other faculty members here at Boise State. And you'll find that if you send me an unprofessional email, I will comment on it and I will ask you to make sure that you're following the professional email guidelines. If you continue to send me unprofessional emails, you risk that they won't be acknowledged. So make sure that you're using these guidelines as best you can. And of course, ask me if you need clarification with how to send a professional email. Your first assignment covers how to send professional emails, so you'll get some good practice on how to do this. So let's talk a little bit about the structure of the class. One, this class is not self-paced. That means you can't do the assignments in whatever order you wish to do them and wait until the last minute and do everything or get everything all done all at once. It goes week by week, and this is to keep everybody on track and to make sure that we're appropriately spacing the lessons and building on them. So each week, you'll go over here to the weekly modules, and there'll be specific due dates. Every week, information, the assignments will be due by either Thursday at 11:59 or Sunday at 11:59. The first week you'll see that there's some assignments that are due on Tuesday, and very occasionally there'll be some assignments that are due earlier in the week, but in general the assignments are due Thursday night and Sunday night. And this of course is in Mountain Standard Time if you're outside of the Mountain Time Zone. Those weekly modules contain various readings, videos, assignments, all of the information that you'll need to accomplish tasks for that week. I've also broken down objectives for each week, what you'll learn, what we'll cover, and what you want to keep in mind for the week itself. As you scroll down, you'll see here this is the weekly assignments folder. So the assignments that are listed here on the table are also found in more detail here in this folder. So if you click through, you'll see a more thorough description of what the assignment is asking you to do, how you can accomplish it, how many points it's worth, as well as when it's due. So make sure that you're looking very carefully at each of these assignment descriptions. In addition, within each weekly module folder, you'll find any videos that I've created for the week any readings that are not your textbook. So for instance, you see here that you're reading in the Essentials of Technical Communication, Chapter 1, which is your textbook. However, you're also reading the email guidelines and course materials, which are digital. So you'll find those off to the side. And I include links for those here. The videos that I've created are also included. And finally, there's a folder for additional resources. These additional resources are not information that you need to access, but it includes information on concepts that you'll want to find, that you might find useful for the semester. Finally, or not finally actually, next there's the discussion board itself. So discussion board are how we participate in the class. Since we're not face-to-face, we can't have conversations about concepts in ways that are useful, so we use the discussion board. And the discussion board allows you to bring in the reading from the week to talk about different concepts, and I'll point you to different aspects. So when you create your post, make sure you write more than a couple of sentences. You want to develop the idea out thoroughly. And the way you develop out is by bringing in your own experience and examples, as well as referring directly to the textbook. So make sure you actually use the textbook as you're writing these posts, and I'll be using that when I evaluate your initial post. The second component is that you reply to 2 of your peers' posts to keep the conversation going. And those replies need to also be substantive. They should not just be, I agree with you, but they should extend the conversation in some way, again, incorporating a reference to the textbook reading for the week or any of your experience as a writer. Finally, the last aspect is that while we have these weekly modules, there's these big assignments that we're working toward each semester, and these are the major assignments. You'll find all of the information about the major assignments here in the major assignments section, and you'll see whenever I refer to A1 or A2, these are the big projects for the semester. And you can find all the content and information about what those assignments entail here within the major assignments folder. So we'll be beginning work on A1, which is your job application packet. And all of the information that you need to be successful for this assignment is contained within this folder. And I'll obviously point you to that throughout the semester. So welcome to Technical Communication. I'm really looking forward to working with you this semester. If you have any questions about the course structure, or any other information that you need for how to be successful in this class, please reach out and email me. You can set up an appointment to meet with me via Google Hangouts or face-to-face if I'm on campus, and I'm happy to chat with you about any of your concerns or questions. So I'm really looking forward to working with you this semester as you explore technical communication, and let me know if you have any questions.